Now on CoastTV News.
Anti-ICE protesters gathering alongside Route 1. Why members of the community say they felt compelled to show up. Plus, similar protests around the country after an ICE agent shot and killed a woman in Minneapolis this week. This beached whale near Bethany, MERR has now determined the mammal's cause of death.
It's been a Saturday soaker for Del Mar, but with moderate to heavy rain, that is now starting to move out. Still rain overnight. Coming up, I'll take a look at Futurecast updated rainfall totals, then a blustery and colder Sunday. Your forecast coming up in a few minutes.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
People protesting against ICE in Rehoboth Beach. Good evening. I'm Emma Aiken. Thank you for joining us and welcome to CoastTV News at 6. Our top story tonight, Delawareans gathered to protest against ICE after an agent shot and killed Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis on Wednesday. This protest took place outside of the Giant on Route 1 in Rehoboth Beach and was led by Indivisible Southern Delaware, who says more than 100 protesters came out earlier this morning. Take a look here. Some community members brought signs and American flags to show their support. Protesters CoastTV spoke with say they felt the need to show up.
You see a sense of community, you see the support of the people. The vast majority of people who pass us are beeping their horns and supporting what we're doing here. So it kind of makes us feel good about what we're doing, and we are speaking for people who can't speak.
Tomorrow, Indivisible Southern Delaware says at 2:30 they will hold a peaceful memorial car procession at the Lowe's in Lewis, and at 4:15 a memorial service at Gordon's Pond. There was a similar scene in Milford this morning with protesters gathering near Route 113. You can see people holding American flags and a variety of signs, some saying honk for democracy, others symbolizing they are anti-ICE. A candlelit vigil is planned in Dover tomorrow, January 11th at 4 p.m. It's at Legislative Hall to mourn the loss of Renee Good. The peaceful vigil will be held by the Delaware Democratic Socialists of America and other organizations. These anti-ICE protests popped up all across the country today, including outside of the White House. You can see signs here, some reading "Trump must go now." Here's people taking to the streets in Manhattan. You can see similar scene, more anti-ICE signs there. With these protests and vigils being held across the country today, Jen Sullivan has details on the protests and what some Minnesota state leaders are saying about the incident.
Protests taking place across the country Saturday. This comes on the heels of protesters taking to the streets of downtown Minneapolis Friday night, as outrage continues after an Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent shot and killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good on Wednesday as she tried to drive away from him.
We are a safe city. We will not counter Donald Trump's chaos with our own brand of chaos here.
The Minneapolis police chief estimates more than 1,000 people demonstrated overnight Friday. At least 30 were detained and later released.
Largely peaceful, mainly a noise protest that was occurring.
The protests are in part in response to the ICE agent shooting and killing Good, which was captured on this cell phone video.
No! Shame! Shame!
The agent shoots, killing Good, who was driving. But this cell phone video, released 2 days later and taken by the ICE agent, shows a different angle. You can see Good talking to agents before the shooting.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
The Department of Homeland Security claims the new footage shows that, quote, the officer was in fear of his own life, the lives of his fellow officers, and acted in self-defense.
You have agitators, and we will always be protecting ICE, and we're always going to be protecting our Border Patrol and our law enforcement.
But many experts have criticized the agent's actions and say the videos do not prove any credible threat. The Department of Justice has blocked Minnesota investigators from participating in a probe into the shooting, a highly unusual move and a move that's infuriating many Minnesota leaders.
These agents do not know how to police, and ICE officials, they don't know how to obey the law in any way or fashion.
The deadly shooting is spreading outrage across the country, with anti-ICE protests taking place in various cities Saturday. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
And we're now taking a live look outside into Milford. Our first alert meteorologist, Bob Try, joins us now. Bob, wow, it was wet out there today.
That is an understatement for sure, Emma, as we picked up over an inch of rain pretty much for everybody. Had this been snow, we'd be shoveling about a foot of snow. But here's a radar replay. We were in that moderate to heavy rain pretty much all day long, but now that's beginning to move to the south and east. Now we're in intermittent showers, and we're still seeing those around Lewis, back through the Delmar area, but that real steady heavy rain has ended. We are seeing a heavier shower near Cambridge right now. Otherwise, there goes the heavy rain, but we still have moisture to the south and west with low pressure and a frontal system, so that will keep the rain going as we go through the overnight hours. Look at these rainfall totals: over 1.5 inches in Slaughter Beach and Seaford, Federalsburg 1.45, about 1.3 inches or so for Cambridge and Laurel. I'll have much more on these rainfall totals coming up a little bit later on. It's a cold rain with temperatures in the 40s and 50s, 57 in Salisbury right now, 49 in Millsboro, 51 Eyre Inlet, and we have fog too, especially from Wallops Island to Ocean City, so watch for limited visibility as we have a southerly flow. Now on Futurecast, that's showing us we're warming into the 50s and 60s with the showers as we go through the evening hours. Don't know if we get this warm, but we'll definitely be breezy and see more of that rain through the overnight hours. Our planner is showing temperatures into the upper 50s with the rain. I'll have much more on this rainy system, and then a blustery Sunday on the way coming up a little bit later on. Emma?
Bob, thank you. We have an update on this young humpback whale that washed ashore near the Ocean Ridge community in Bethany Beach Thursday. After working throughout the day Friday to perform a necropsy, that's an autopsy for animals, MERR determined that the mammal had subdermal hemorrhaging and a broken jaw. MERR says this type of blunt force trauma is often associated with a large ship strike, and they said the nature of the injuries showed that the whale was still alive when it was hit. The 32-foot whale, nicknamed Oil Change by his community in Cape Cod, has now been buried beneath the sand, a common practice that's good for the ecosystem, according to MERR. After almost a year of anticipation and construction, a new Brazilian steakhouse, Nossa Caixes, located at 109 Main Street here, is preparing to welcome its first guests in Millsboro. The restaurant said today they've already fully booked reservations for the soft opening on Tuesday, and now regular reservations are open. This is an all-you-can-eat style restaurant, and the owners previously told CoastTV that they moved from Brazil to here in Sussex County. The Delaware Department of Agriculture is reporting a presumptive positive case of bird flu in a commercial poultry flock in Kent County. The affected farm has been quarantined, and the birds are being depopulated to prevent further spread. Officials say the birds will not enter the food supply and that the risk to the general public remains low. On your screen now is where DelDOT says nightly closures will be in place. According to DelDOT, the closures will run from this Monday, January 12th, through mid-February for bridge painting. Closures will be underway from 9 p.m. through 6 a.m. We are just getting started here on CoastTV News at 6. Coming up, train transportation. DelDOT wants your help determining the downstate demand for passenger trains.
Here's a live looking at Cambridge on the FH Fur Camp. Still seeing showers for you, 48 degrees, and still rainy this evening with rising temperatures. I'll have an updated look at those rainfall totals and talk about a dry and blustery Sunday on the way. My full forecast a little bit later on.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
DelDOT is already in the process of looking at more passenger train routes here in the state. Check this out. Both scenarios would start in northern Delaware, like Newark or Wilmington, and head south to the eastern shore, like Salisbury or Berlin, with multiple other stops on the table, too. DelDOT says they want to continue exploring the overall expansion of the rail service here in Delaware. They're trying to determine if there's a demand for more passenger trains, and they want your opinion to help shape the future of downstate rail. DelDOT says the idea started as a way to address the shortage of viable transportation options in the state, but they say this would require a lot of land, including acquiring some private land. Still, some Delawareans we spoke with say a rail system is needed.
Because not everybody has a car like I do. You know, and if they need to get a way to get around that's a little bit more accessible to them and not, half hour away, then that would, to me, would be great for all the people.
If you're interested, the survey is open through January 31st. And coming up next, Bob Trihey is in the CoastTV First Alert Weather Center tracking all of this rain. He has your full forecast after this.
Definitely nice to see the rain, not necessarily to start the weekend, but you know, we are abnormally dry and boy, did we get the rain. Look at Slaughter Beach and Seaford, over 1.5 inches for you. Federalsburg 1.45, 1.41 in Lewis, and over 1.3 inches in Cambridge and into Laurel. Georgetown 1.3, 1.25 inches in Millsboro, and over 1.2 in Delmar. Salisbury 1.12 and 3/4 inch in Bethany Beach. But now the real heavy rain is over, but tonight we're still looking at occasional rain, still some large puddles ponding on the roads, and still watch for some minor flooding. You can see the fog on the Tidal Health Cam in Salisbury, so we're going to see the fog as well. And then Sunday, breezy, colder, maybe a little bit of rain and snow into the afternoon, just a little burst, not a big deal, but gusty winds over 35 miles per hour and temperatures in the 40s. Right now we're in the 40s and 50s, 57 Salisbury, 49 in Georgetown, 49 in Millsboro. I think these temperatures will creep up as we go through the evening with the southerly breeze. We've got the fog, only a half mile in fog in Ocean City and Wallops Island. Better in other places, but really watch out there tonight for the fog and the wet roads as the winds have turned in out of the south. Here's our radar replay. You can see all that heavy rain that was coming through during the course of the day, moderate to heavy rain. And now that's starting to break up a little bit, but we're still seeing the showers back into areas around Millsboro and Gumboro. And then for the eastern shore, you can see this little line from Agner to Hurlock and some heavier showers near Taylor's Island. So we're not done with the rain yet. It just won't be that consistently heavy rain as we have a warm front lifting through and then a cold front farther back to the west. That's the leading edge to that chillier air. But once again, we have more rain to go through as we go through tonight. Here's Futurecast. We're seeing the rain, and look at these temperatures into the 60s. This might be a little optimistic, but I think it does get milder and breezy with the showers this evening, and then more rain overnight. Then the cold front comes through tomorrow morning with temperatures in the 50s and then into the 40s. And then it's going to clear out for a time early Sunday afternoon, and then a little disturbance could give us a little bit of rain and snow as we go into the afternoon, just a little burst, and then it gets really cold after that. As far as the rain, could tack on another 1/4 to maybe 1/3 inch of rain on top of what we've already seen, and the winds really pick up as we go through this evening, gusting close to 40 miles per hour. Make sure those outdoor items are secured. Then the cold front comes through, and we're looking at more of those gusty winds into Sunday evening, over 30 miles per hour. And with the colder air, those feels like temperatures after midnight into the low 20s and feeling like low 20s into Monday morning. So a very cold day. And then by later in the week, our pattern changes. It gets a little stormy by Thursday. We could be looking at rain and snow. It really depends on where this system sets up. But right now, it could be rain and snow. Some models blowing up a big snowstorm for us. This is the European model, not as aggressive. And then by Sunday, the European model is quiet, but other models are blowing up more rain and snow. So it's definitely going to get active. 43 tonight, occasional rain, patchy fog, and then blustery, colder on Sunday. Maybe a little bit of rain and snow in the afternoon, 48. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. Lower 50s Tuesday and Wednesday. That rain and snow chance Thursday, 43. Colder, 37 on Friday. Dry for Saturday. Maybe some rain and snow on Sunday. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This area on your screen is right next to the Route 16 bypass in Milton. The developer group Seagull wants to transform this area and turn it into homes, stores, and even a hotel. The property was rezoned 2 years ago, allowing for this type of development. The retail section and hotel would be right up against Route 1, and the 280 homes would be towards the back of the property. Take a look at these plans. The biggest store is set at 150,000 square feet. People we spoke with were mixed on if something this size will fit in Milton.
I think the location is great because it's not in town. It's not coming right into Milton or into Lewis. It's a little bit easier on traffic.
What about the infrastructure? What about the added schools we're going to need? What about the roads? What about the drain on the water aquifer, the septic system, stuff like that? Who's going to pay for that?
With the rezoning happening years ago, the final site plan will now have to be presented to Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission. It's not clear yet when exactly that will be. Thousands of New York City nurses are ramping up pressure on hospital leaders as contract negotiations continue. They're warning a massive strike could come as soon as Monday. Today, nurses rallied outside a hospital trade group's headquarters, demanding safer staffing, protected health benefits, and better patient care. CoastTV News at 6 returns after this. The 83rd Golden Globe Awards are set for tomorrow. One Battle After Another is the lead movie contender with 9 nominations. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio and is directed by Paul Thomas Anderson. They're both up for acting and directing trophies. As for TV, The White Lotus and Adolescence are up for the most honors. The awards will air at 8 p.m. Eastern on CBS and stream on Paramount+.
Be extra cautious heading out this evening. Lots of big puddles ponding on the roads and areas of fog too. With the showers continuing, occasional rain, it warms up close to 60 and then cooling off after that. Call the CoastTV First Alert weather phone, sponsored by Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Blustery and colder as we go into Sunday, 48, 44. Monday, 50s Tuesday and Wednesday. Then it gets active. Maybe some rain and snow Thursday. Very cold into the weekend and maybe more rain snow by Sunday. So we are not done with winter yet, Emma.
Bob, thank you. And thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 6. For more news and local weather, download our Coast TV News app. Be sure to join us tonight at 11. Until then, have a great night.